Hi there everyone, Lars here from Camille's Harem, a channel for novice authors by novice authors, because writing is an adventure, it's way more fun with friends, and this amazingly long video is brought to you by the whole Harem. When we did our Harem retreat at the beginning of the summer, we wanted to do a writer's roulette. If you don't know what that is, hang around because we're going to explain the whole thing to you. And this is just a really fun opportunity for you to get to know more members of the Harem. If you don't already know who we are, this is an absolute banger of a video, and I hope that you'll stick around for the whole thing. But one thing for me to say before I turn it over to everyone else, if you'd like to support the work that we do here, please make sure that you are already subscribed to our channel. It is free to do, and you are then in for a fun time with the rest of us. And if you'd like to financially support what we do, please check out the books that we've published. I have just released a brand new book, The White Snake. I'm pretty certain that you will enjoy reading it. So, without any further ado, let's dive into the fun of this Writer's Roulette.
Stop blaring at me, Peaches.
Make sure Peaches gets a good roll.
Yeah, Peaches, you get a really good role. The role of the silent protagonist. That secretly, the sidekick character that secretly follows the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool for it. Unless she goes, wah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to be the one to explain?
I will be the one.
Okay.
So, everyone, humble listeners, this is what we call a writer's roulette. We do this every couple of years, and it is a writing exercise where you are only given the previous... Wait, back up.
Yeah.
First, you come up with a concept. So as you can see, there's our concept right there.
The title is...
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. Do it.
The boy who went afraid, probably because of undiagnosed mental disorders. And so we have this concept of retelling of a fairy tale of the boy who went afraid, where we learned how to be afraid because of fesh slapping him.
That's not the name of the actual fairy tale that this is based off of. I couldn't remember the name because it's a long title.
The boy who set out to find fear, basically.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But with our concept, we each write a page, but we are only given the previous person's page. We all know the concept, but we are only able to see the previous person's writing, and we have to write off of that. And then it passes the baton to the next person. Same concept, they only get the previous page.
Now, the wrinkle is that we also disabled the backspace key on our keyboard, which is why you see things like, instead of a fish slapping him, you get fesh slapping him.
Fesh slapping.
Fesh
So yeah, everybody was able to get this. So we came up with, just a few bits of information as...
Oh, I didn't even see the dad's name when I was writing.
Oh.
I didn't see that either. Whoopsies!
Yeah, so we established this little basic outline just for some modicum of consistency. We've done this before where we didn't have any sort of prior outline.
Yep.
And it just devolved into chaos. And so having a little bit of an outline really helps keep it from being a little... a smiley face.
A smiley.
And so, yeah, we were given this and the previous page of the last author, then having to write a page to try and make a complete story. Mm-hmm. So that's the challenge, and it's very fun. Shall we begin?
Let's begin.
All right.
Do we want to say who's here?
Yeah, let's go through who's here. That's a good idea.
Say, we got Spencer, we got Camille, we got Scott, Nathan, Peaches, and Lars.
Yay!
And Jazzy's asleep on the floor.
She's
not quite asleep yet.
Yeah. She's here in spirit, but
Excellent.
also here physically.
And then one person that wrote that is not here is our lovely Hannah.
Yes.
She had to leave a little while ago.
Okay.
All right. And am I going to do the narration?
Yeah. Are you up? You're probably the only person who can.
You can do the name.
I will attempt to pronunciate these names.
That's his name.
Yeah, befruchten.
That's how you say that?
Yeah,
I know.
That's the wrong way to say it. But here we go.
Here.
So,
Alright. Since Lars will do most of the talking, I'm going to move the mic a little closer to him.
all right.
Okay. Consequently, me.
And then,
Yeah.
who wants to be our good boy,
Befruchten.
Befrichten?
I almost...
Befruchten.
It sounds like a curse
I
word.
almost feel like Camille has to be in.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm so snoozy and nonchalant right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very deadpan.
Extra
Yeah.
points if you do Toad voice. But I'll leave
God.
that up to you.
That'll shred you.
about the
Don't
whole
do
No
it.
promises.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
And other voices as necessary as we
Yeah,
go
we'll
along.
we'll tackle additional roles as they come.
All right. This is going to be amazing trying to pronounce some of these names because they're going to be all written so poorly.
Fetternudes.
All right. So here we begin. Befruchten was your average boy in so many ways. He liked to roughhouse with his friends. He went fishing on Saturday afternoons. Didn't wash as often as he should have, and had to be told when to shave when his peach fuzz got too nasty. A typical teenage boy. However, there was one thing about him that was far from normal. No matter what, Befürchtung could not get scared. It was impossible. But put his head underwater for too long? Not even a quickened pulse. Throw hum into bed with spiders and snakes? Not even a peep. Heights were laughable to him. Saying curses in the mirror yielded no results, and wolves howling at night put him to sleep. Everyone considered it unnatural, and over the years, Befürchtung slowly lost his friends. Becoming an outcast, his father hoped to intervene before things got too far out of hand. His father, Werner, a respectable miller, took his son aside one morning and said, Befürchtung, my boy, it's not right that you never feel any fear. Actually,
Yeah.
Anyone else want to do the voice of the dad?
Oh, that's true. I can do the dad.
Okay.
Befrichten, my boy! It's not right for you to never feel any fear. It was fun when you were a kid, but now people see you as abnormal. All I wanted you, and I don't want you to be seen as different or treated weirdly. So I spoke to Fazavata, and he suggested that go on a holy and unholy quest.
L.
Befürchtung snickered and asked,
Hee. What is it? Does he want me to descend through a portal of hell? Summon a demon?
Werner paled to hear his son speak so lightly of evil and frightening things.
My son, no! He said you must undertake a quest, and that out there on the road, fat with gree, you will 3 challenges. As per the holy number, these challenges will put true fear into your heart and will finally be a normal person.
But Dad,
Befürchtung complained.
I don't even know what fear feels like. How am I supposed to know what it is if I never come across it?
Well, my son, it's something like feeling your stomach fall through your toes, or when your heart stops and you feel all cold, or you begin to shiver uncontrollably. You want to run back home, a scream dies or gets stuck in your throat because the fear is as paralyzing that your muscles stop working. See? Normal stuff like that.
That sounds like I would be dying.
Exactly, my boy, exactly!
Werner said, relieved that his son finally understood. Unfortunately, Befürchtung did not. A week later, the 10 had finally taken a proper bath, shaved for the journey, packed all the food and bedding he needed, carved his own walking stick, and finally went out into the world to discover what fear was. The townsfolk did not come out to see him off. But Fata gave him a blessing, praying the Lord would smite Befürchtung. With all the necessary encounters needed, Otto instilled the greatest sensation of fear imaginable into the young man, and finally break hum of his oddness.
Goodbye, Father. Please do be watching over Stella, my dog, while you are gone. I mean, while I am gone.
This is where I took over, can you tell?
I just saw the name.
Befruchten Said as he turned down the path out of town.
I know who your dog is. Why are you telling me your dog's name again?
Vanner said, the odd words catching in the father's throat, unsure if he would see if son again.
You'll be careful, art there. Many spirits of fearful ghosts have been seen on the roads of...
I was hoping you would be the one to try and pronounce this, Lars, not me.
Fruchtengutaugen Castle?
Yeah.
Say that.
Fruchtengutaugen Castle.
Fruchtengutaugen Castle. They may try and steal your eyes or shoes, or even worse, your splena.
Your spina?
Your splena.
Oh my god.
What would a ghost want with my spleen, Father?
'Tis best not to ask questions, my boy.
A tear stripping from Werner's face.
It's government. Yeah.
I spelled it wrong, so I was like, maybe I'll fix it. No, I spelled it wrong again. Maybe I'll fix it.
What's his government name? Werner von Werner.
Now go. May you make me a proud father.
Split. Period.
Burger Furchtet. Burger Furchtet turned and headed down the Rost. He heard the birds singing in the tray tops and the smooth smell of soft flowers drift on the breeze. The air was humid and caused him to drop a few beads of sweat from his brown brow as he walked. He followed a narrow trail that was ratly traveled on. He wouldn't be able to take the King's Road to Calais. You would have to take the roundabout way. Well, not you, but Befuchen. He found the trail to Fruchengutaugen Castle to have spots of difficulties. Mostly it was smooth, sad sand paths, but occasionally he was met with towering flat cliff faces. He wasn't much of a rock flimmer, however. He didn't have much upper body strength. Even as a tot, he struffled. To do pull-ups on the trees, he would play with the other village boys. Guess that means he would have to walk around the cliffs.
Equals. I went back. I subconsciously reached for the backspace, but I hit the equal sign. I was like, well, shoot.
I did that, dude. You'll see.
Most cliffs he was able to find a way around that led back to the path he was following, or so he thought. Little dud Behuchten, with a capital B since it's his name, know that the path he found himself on wasn't the same path he started out on and would lead him far off course. Alas, as the sun began to set, Befuchten designed a camp for himself just off the Wye in the tall grass under a willow tree. He flattened the tall weeds, grass, and laid out his bedroll. He knew he should make a fire of sage and oak, as his father taught, to ward off the malicious spirits. But he was exhausted. After a long day of travels, all he wanted to Odod was sleep. It didn't take long before he drifted to sleep, but soon he was awakened by a feeling of weightlessness. Befficken opened his eyes, feeling groggy and crispy. Cripsy. Feeling groggy and cripsy. Look down. He was being grabbed by each of the ankles over a tall cliff by awful-looking spectral monsters with horns justing outer at odd angles from their distorted faces. Their screeching voices shot pain into Befürchten ear as they spoke to him. Oops. It yelled, their voices echoing down the scraggy cliff F face.
Does actually somebody else want to do this instead of me? That's a good screech.
That's you.
Befürchten thought, dangling upside down into the abyss.
My father was right. They want me spleen.
They want me spleen.
They want me spleen.
How to escape. Well, how did anyone get out of a situation being dangled over a cliff by monsters who set on your spleen?
With 3 E's.
Is this me?
Yeah, that's you.
Spleen?
He yelled back up the monster.
Spleen!
The monster agreed and pulled him back up over the cliff. The negotiation successful.
What?
The next few minutes were unpleasant. The monster released one of his feet in order to free up its hand, presumably Strahd grabbing at Befürchten's spleen. As it did, Befürchten kicked out his food-connected custody, solidly with the monster's neck, and it reared back, screeching. He yanked his other foot out of the monster's now slack grip and rolled out the way.
Oh, is this me again?
Yeah.
This spleen is mine.
He decarled, drawing his sword. The monster...
Get a sword.
Swing. The monster enraged had no chance. It was the work of seconds for Befürchten to dispatch him, fearless as he was on the horrible monster's teeth and claws. With the monsters dispatched and rolled over the cliff into the waves below, Befürchten turned around. The plain in front of him stretched nearly as far as the eye could see, but off in the distance and to his left he saw movement. With no clues as to where he should go, he headed towards it. It was so dark. He was only a few feet away when he realized, the movement T was from 3 corpses, so far decayed he could tell nothing from them except Rom, the tattered clothing hanging from their decimated forms. How odd, how bizarre, but not frightening, obviously.
Obviously.
Nothing was frightening in this world. Perhaps they made him a god, he thought, watching the 3 dead oboes. Nope. Bodies swaying in the wind. In one of the pockets of the corpse of what he assumed had been a woman, going by the dress she was wearing, something glittered. He squinted and leaned in close. It awes a cooing of canope of some kind.
It awes a cooing.
He pulled it out, shaking off a few little maggots that clung to dit. On the back was printed the word death. Ooh. How nice. Free coin. He pocketed it. Well, these corpses weren't particularly interesting, except for their free coins. Befürchten looked around. Off in the distance, behind the gallows, a faint light glimmered. Hopefully that was the town he had taken a room in. He had taken a room? When? It looked to be quite a quiz off. With a sigh of resignation, he started walking.
Oh, wait, that's you.
No, that'd be like...
There you go.
It took him over an hour to get back to the town. Luckily, nope, lucky. It was the town.
Nope.
It was the town he had a hotel room in.
Oh.
He made his way, tired though the sound of patrons still drinking the brews, though it was well past midnight. Befürchten, our fearless hero, continued on into the town, looking through the various wares and goods of his way to find a good place to rest his head after his harrowing battle with the monster that wanted to eat his spleen. Not too far into town, he found a beautiful inn that oozed with delicious scents. He entered into the inn, partook in some wonderful, goody-full foods, and got a room for the night.
He had a room.
He awoke in the middle of the night, as comfortable bedding he laid and changed into a rocking boat. Go groggily, he shook his head awake and looked around at his surroundings. He found himself laying at the bottom of a small river boat, looking up at a hellscape of a sky, with a skeleton in robes rowing the boat. He looked up, looking for his blade, but found that it hadn't joined him in this mid-sleep experience. Befürchten jumped up and had to catch his balance really quickly as the rocking of the boat upset his equilibrium. Upset and bewildered, the skeleton shouted silently at him, flailing the whore as it had its arms. Fearlessly, as always, our hero looked around and found that the river was full of the flailing of limbs and the cries of drowning souls. Even this didn't cause him to fear.
Turn the boat around.
He yelled at the skeleton as he caught sight of the past and his sleeping form on the backen of the shore they had left behind. The skeleton shook its head and then held its hand out. Befürchten looked at it quizzically. Before he thought of something, he reached into his pocket, and thankfully in it he had found the coin marked Diath that he had stolen from the corpsed bride. He handed that over Toti Ferryman with a silent sigh. The boat turned laboriously back the way it had come. Befürchten woke up and found himself back to where he had fallen asleep at Alseep. Still tired, but seeing the sun peeking through his window, he got up and prepared for the next day. He still had a ways to go, though, till he reached the castle church crypts that his father urged him to go to. If dead bodies, the river Styx, the dead zombies hadn't scared him, that, of course nothing in a silly little crypt would affect him. The only option that was to continue onwards and push himself through these obviously absurd trials. After a meal, he pushed onwards and chuckled at the light of the sun, made the silly roads around him seem so much more every day than they had been before. Truly.
Wait, what? I'm trying to figure out that sentence.
That obviously, let's break it down here.
Yeah.
After a meal, he pushed onwards and chuckled as the light of the sun made the silly roads around him seem so much more every day than they had been before. It's clear.
Those silly roads are feeling real every day today.
I'm laughing so much over the church's crypts.
Because I realized where everything went wrong, and it was with me.
Oh, dear.
That's usually my job. So.
Truly, he had become a god, able to overcome anything now that he no longer feared the world around him. The bandits on the road ran from his presence as high charged at them with reckless abandon. And another monster shrunk in upon itself after he found out that he could shout louder than it could. The world belonged to him now, and his father would find that fear was unnecessary for those wishing to gain power in this world. Must be nice to feel like everyone else, but for Befürchten, fear would only drag him down.
Dang.
He sat with his thoughts for a few more hours, growing bored with his surroundings, but the time he made his way to the ancient cemetery, they began at the outskirts of a large dark forest to his right. The road ahead of him continued to the king's grand castle. Confirm seeing that he was on the right path. He turned towards the cemetery, a chill excitement creeping up his spine as he stepped beneath a rotting archway of iron. The tombstones went back as far as he could see, shrinking back into the blackened woods, lumps of mossy stone swallowed up by the foreboding trees. The sun was completely bucketed out of the time he found the great crypt at the far edge of the tombstones. It stood tall and narrow, covered in ivy and moss, with 2 lumbering statues of death cloaked in weathered robes. Their skeletal faces leered down at him, eyeless sockets somehow holding a gleeful expression. Befürchten only smiled back at them.
What do you have in store for me?
He asked the statues.
Something exciting, I hope.
Something cursed, actually.
A raspy voice said behind him. The young man wheeled around to see an old man on the path, frowning at him under bushy white eyebrows. Who stood taller than Nefrichten, with long limbs and narrow features, but his shoulders slumped with age.
You shouldn't be here,
He said flatly.
Oh. The crypt is forbidden to enter to everyone.
Oh, sorry, I forgot where I was. Yeah, I understand that most would be a fool to enter it, but, like, I have to.
Befürchten shrugged.
I'm tasked with 3 quests, and this is something I must compete.
Do you have a death wish?
The old man approached him, shoving his shoulder as he passed.
Has been pasted.
As he be pasted, yeah. As he be pasted.
I'm the crypt keeper here. It's my sole duty that no one enter.
Sounds like an important job.
Befürchten scanned the narrow dowers at the entrance of the Serpt. They looked just as decrepit as the rest of the structure, easy enough to break in if he waited until the old man was distracted or asleep.
I don't want to cause you any trouble, sir. It's just that I've been tasked with 3 quests to find something that can truly fry hicken me.
The crypt keeper laughed, which led him to a raspy cough.
What's that supposed to mean?
I can't feel fear at all. I fought so many monsters, and into countered so many dangerous things, but I have yet to know what it feels like.
I feel like he needs to be put behind bars for into-cuttering people.
Into-countred. You can't feel fear? Oh, wait. You can't feel fear?
I guess I should have put no, sir, instead of yes, sir, but yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Lars is taking a drink.
A brief water break.
Yeah, I need that because, like, oh.
I can't wait to read this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Things get pretty wild
Also,
on the second
I love
round.
how I said 3 quests, and I'm like, what number are we even on?
I think this is quest 3.
No, this is...
Well,
No, yes, the dream was 2.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There's him being dangled over a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was...
Oh, shoot.
There was the river Styx.
There's the river
Wait,
Styx.
this is 4? This is number 4 now.
Wait. There was the cliffs, the river Styx.
The gallows.
The gallows.
Oh.
The gallows.
The gallows, then the river Styx.
Okay, I kind of like...
He's like, by the time he gets to the end, he's like, Bestie, I met my quota. Just get me there.
I hope I kind of tried to keep it vague because I was like, I don't know what number we're on.
Yes, sir. This is kind of the theme of the night.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is why I was like, which trial are we on?
I don't know, we've all written a trial, but...
Yeah.
The old man huffed and rolled his eyes.
Right. And I'm the king's mistress. You best run along before I call the king's guards here. Unless you'd like to see if some time in the dungeons... Wait. Dungeons, yeah, I was right. Can put your silly theory to the test.
Befürchten smiled warmly, not wanting to raise anti-suspicion.
Sorry to cause you any trouble.
Walking away from the man, Befürchten began to began to come up with a scheme. A scheme. He would sneak into then Crip's graveyard after night and see what was truly scary of the land. This would surely be the thing that would cause him to feel the fear which he desired so. Befürchten sat outside, waiting for any signs of movement in the small crypt. Finally, the man slowly wheel out of the place, moving towards a small hut nearby. This will surely be the time to feel fear. After he creaked away, Befürchten ran to the crypt, jumped over the iron gates, and getting in. The air was musty with test scents and whispers of the dead. This would definitely be the time to see fear. He slowly walked down a flight of stairs into the crypt, lining the owls were Somali alcoves of Tombs Abbid Cascades.
Don't you hate it when you just like are going down to the crypt? Perfect.
Yeah, just
the word.
The crypt. Next time I'm going to the crypt.
Lighting the Allsworth.
Allsworthy Somali alcoves. Now, next time I go to Europe and I go to the crypts, each filled with a different body, not the dead. Taking a look at each one, he found name engraved on them of people long past. None of the names meant anything to him. But he knew that he would find what he was looking for. At the end of the room was a raised platform, was a ornate gray castate. A gray castate.
Whatever that means.
Just don't castrate, please. An ornate gray castate that was more fancy than the others around him. He knew the feeling was off here. Colder even that in the surrounding area. Approaching the casket in the dead silence, befürchtet touched the stone. He felt the could around him thicken, and a specter appeared before him.
What are you doing in my home?
The specter screamed.
Only those that are dead may treat here.
Befürchten looked at the man clothed in royal garb and felt nothing. Even the creams of the sand couldn't even make him feel something.
Don't you hate the cream of the sand?
I love the creams of the sand. With a sigh, Befürchten ruined around and began to leave the way he came.
Who wrote this?
Confused, the spectre followed. Are you not going to say anything?
Hey, that's Nick.
Oh, yeah. Are you not going to say it? Oh, that wasn't the voice. What was the voice?
Are you not going to say anything, boy? This is my home and I would like to know why you are here.
I simply wish to feel this sensation of fear. I was born. Some say cursed. With the inability to feel fear.
I was born. The ghost looked at him quizzically.
With my ghostly visage, surely you must have felt something.
Befürchten sighted heavily.
I did not, sir. I appreciate the... What the?
Theatricum?
Yeah, theatricism Chisholm, but I think it's took me for me to move on to the next of my quests.
The ghost looked at him again and smiled.
For your sake, and that of the world, I hope you are successful on your quest. You could be the greatest hero of men.
Wink. With that, Perfection left the crypty and began to the next of his trials.
We're on 4.
Perfection took his journey to the distant coast. He had heard rumors and legends of a ghost ship that attacked the villages and event the castle along the beaches. Since he crypts ended up not being exactly dangerous, he figured it might be scary if there was a real sense of danger to the trial. The lingering issue was that even when his friends had tried to freak him out as a kid by drowning him, it had not even quickened his heart rate. Maybe this would be different. Along the A, Perfection worked several hobs to pay for his trip to the coast. Trained as a Moor, he took several jobs carrying grains and grinding them whenever he came across a bisted mill. Other times, he helped shepherd goats and sheep. There was even one time when he acted as a bodyguard. He didn't do a bad job, seeing as how he couldn't be spooked. When the 3 thugs tried to jump the rich banker, he was frightened and easily beat them back.
So he was frightened.
He was frightened. He was frightened. Whoa!
Plot twist.
But when he learned that the banker had stolen those men's homes, he botted the banker into the deepest river he could find.
Oh.
Fair. He is the hero of the story.
Growing older and wiser, but none the scareder, Befürchten finally reached the coast. A gorgeous white castle with many spires oversaw the white sands beaches. It stood on a great cliff and acted as a lighthouse, too. Befürchten had made it to the kingdom of Hohenweishaus. Despite the beauty, there was real signs of the damages done by the supposed ghost ship. A nearby village had lost its wharf and many of its boats. The people were haunted by nightmares of skeletal pirates that would come ashore and steal their treasures and wine. White, crusty gunk was all over the beaches and the people's porches. Many were speaking of packing up and leaving Hohenweishaus for good.
Who can stop the ghost ship?
Hey, that was supposed to be Scoop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They bewailed.
This is fantastic.
Befürchten exclaimed when he heard the story.
It's still in quotations.
Oh,
The
yeah.
quotation never ended.
This is fantastic, Befürchten exclaimed when he heard the stories. I might finally feel what fear is, though most of this just looks like the really sad leftover of a bad pirate attack. Alright, so how do I meet this host ship?
The scared villagers threw him out, so Befürchten decided to go up to the castle and ask about. He figured that everyone was too scared to tell him back in the village, and maybe they were superstitious, and believed that asking about the ghost ship would bring it back their way. The boy eagerly made his way up the cliffs, following a precarious switchback road up to the top. There he found himself standing before a pearly gate inlaid with silver swans.
Ooh, pretty.
When he knocked, a little security door opened in the gate, revealing a guard with a head full of curly red hair. He sniffed down at Befürchten and sneered.
We've already given you, peasant, all the food you need after the raid. You're eating us out of hearth and home.
I have come to stop the ghost ship.
Befürchten said as grandly as he could.
I, Befürchten, am reunited for my bravery and ship stepping ability. Open this gate and let me in, lest I lead this city to its demise.
The guard opened the gate, his face pale.
Thanks.
Befürchten said, and Storoled in city, his back straight, and his hand on a sword that he found on the ground somewhere along his travel.
For real? We figured out where he got his sword from.
Please act key to me to your king.
The king, unfortunately, was asleep at the moment, so in the meantime, Befürchten was led to a grand, spacious room to wait. He sat on the gold-embroidered cushions, listening to the sound of the fountain and pissing
Oh.
At a plate of fruit that could have served 10. What a waste of food. The sun had moved at least an inch across the sky, reflecting off the white cliffs and blue waves below that he could see through the open window when the guard finally returned.
The king will see you now.
He declared and stamped his staff into the ground. Befürchten rose and followed the guard through the halls, aligned with marble and fine art, into the large gilded room with one single chair in the middle. A man with a pointy crown sat atop it, looking regal and important, but still with a slight cowlick on his left side.
Can I be the king?
Yeah.
Who is this?
The king demanded.
Oh, is that me?
This is the man who said he could stop the periships?
Yes, sir.
The guard dared, bowing low.
He said that he was renowned for his ghost ship stopping abilities.
It's true.
Befürchten said.
But I don't do it for free.
The king scoffed.
What proof do you have that you can do what you say? How many ghost ships have you stopped before?
4?
Befürchten lied.
It lands far too far away for you to check.
Not afraid to lie.
Yeah.
For sure.
I have to wait for Lars so I can do this.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good.
Well, fun is pretty good. Now I don't care if you die, so have at it.
As I said before,
Befürchten said, crossing his arms.
I don't stop ghost ships for free. Well, hello. What reward will you give me if I do this for you?
The king of Hohen Weishaus thought for a second, tapping his chin.
Harem, if you service the... I have to say that again. Service the raid on the ghost ship, then I shall send a representative to the court of the High King to vouch for you as hand in marriage to Princess... Oh, God. Hanedaffertoff. I may be a smaller king of a smaller...
What?
outlying kingdom, but I have sway in the High Court of the High King. Equal.
A lady princess's hand in marriage, you say?
Befürchten said.
You got your slough a deal.
Why? Well, Diffuser, escort this man to the expected sighting of the ghost ship.
Who's this? Sorry.
Equal. Size.
The girl with the red hair squirmed uncomfortably.
Yes, sir. Right away.
How strange that the Garud Fulsa suddenly became bashful and not bashful, scared when the king ordered them to the ghost shulp. Befürchan wasn't scared. However, instead he flew Fulsa to the ghost ship. As they walked down the beach between the town and the castle, Fulsa began to drag, and his pace slowed.
I am not happy about this, he said. Got really bad feeling about this.
Fulsa grabbed his binoculars off his hip satch, where he had, which he has the whole time.
Here, look out to the horizon where you see all the cluster of seagulls.
The sun was setting, but it was almost the way down. But it was almost the way down as it moved away down under horizon. A translucent image began to appear. It slowly moved closer to land. Amph became more visible. It was covered with ghostly seaweed and crusted with a barn equals less. Holes were blasted into the side as if it weren't a haunted ship. There would be no way it would be floating.
Come, hit here.
Fulsa said.
Then we can jump out and get them.
Fulsa was breathing hard, and sweat wassy rolling down in cheek. Water welling in his eye. The sky darkened slowly, and eventually the ship made landfall, fropping a drawbridge, or whatever you call it in a shippo, a cocoa fanny, and of skeletal war skreek filled the beach, and a fall dozen phantasmal pirates rushed towards the small village. Hey, Bast Bakuten, but didn't see him be oat canned AAB the Rock. Berfu Charmander, Char prefer, sprang out, running behind the ghosts and onto Wint's ghost ship. Fulsa was confused, but flowed him Axios, but going on those ship.
It doesn't, semicolon T, look like anyone is here?
Bashushin remarks.
Why wouldn't they leave anyone to guard the ship?
Maybe, but because they assume people are there too afraid to approach.
Huh? Really? Is it? Really? Is it? It's really that scary? Hey, let me look for some loot.
Bakken said as he opened the captain's quarters dower and plucked a sword off a pile of gold. That is when a groaning sounded deep within the goat.
I wonder what that was. Let's go check it out.
As they snuck into the ship, a flock of spectral seagulls flew down and coalesced into a bunch of Itachi wonderness into a form of skeleton dress in a cloak. The skeleton now had a seagull-themed pirate hat and wielded a large, bony cutlass instead of a oar like he did when he was piloting the boat on the river Styx. Befürchten decided to call him Bonitachi.
We meet again, Bone It Achi.
Befürchten yelled. The skeleton face palmed.
I guess it worked.
I hit the P instead of the F, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go
into his head as the hero. Fulsa also face palmed and then shook off a sheet of sweat that had gathered on his palm. Yuck. With no warning, Befürchten charged the pirate captain, wielding his powerful sword, and started to go back and Orforth with the powerful entity as he flew and noticed the death coin and logged it in the Skellis Yi and started to realize that was how the captain had crossed Ed into the world. He had to get the death coin back from the captain. Then he could use it to buy the love of the princess. The king would love to have a coin that could save him from death. B. Fudston didn't need the coin, though. Without fear, he would fight the freaking pirate every single time without any kind of fear. Their battle lasted for ages! Poor Fulsa died on the deck of the ship from boredom! But alas, those paddles never last forever. And B. Fursteson won out by battering the bones for the skelly arms to bits and pieces, and then lazily reached down and took the coin. He then commandeered the ship and used only a little of the coin's luck to bring his loyal servant Fullis back from the beded. I gotta take a drink. Back from the beded. Together they armed the spectral cannons and unleashed them on the crew that was trying to return to the ship. With all of the skeletons dead and ownership of the ship transferred, Befruchten took the helm and Peter Panned the ship into the air and flew it back to the kingdom. In his mind of monkey minds, the praise and applause would get as he landed the ship be so good.
I love applesauce.
Applesauce.
Applesauce is my favorite.
I want praise and applesauce. Instead of praise, though, the people of the kingdom of Hohen weeps, cried in despair at the sight of the horrible ghost ship that flew over them. Because, of course, that's how people would reply to a giant flying spectral ship that was flying over a landlocked city.
They got no land.
Befruchten wasn't a sailor, though, and didn't know how to properly land the ship. So instead he crashed it into one of the towers of the castle and then dropped anchor. The anchor dropped down and destroyed several cabbage stalls in the macret below. Several people cried, for hell had destroyed their cabbages. Volsa sprung up and climbed down to the castle to announce their victory, but instead was locked up and thrown in chains. The king, though, saved him and went out the door to meet Befruchten and his ghost ship.
Oh, yes, hero. I see that you destroyed my tower.
Cried the king.
I have brought the spoils of Civtory to pay for my future wedding,
He said. The princess frowned, but then shrugged. This dude might be okay if he lost some of his pompousness. He was at least kind of hot, but not as hot as he thought. She had a plan for a way ought dicks him. For his fearlessness would not let her run the kingdom the way she wanted. So is she going after his dick? Is that what
That's what I heard.
The sky clouded, and a massive eerie fog rolled in as death stalked the streets and moved forward to do battle. Befruchten readied himself for a final battle, Sith death.
Not Sith death. What have you brought upon us, boy?
The king demanded, his eyes cat upwards to the dark sky. But then Befruchten, the hero, smiled at him with a mischievous gleam in his eye.
It's my final quest, Your Majesty. It's my final chance to see if I am actually afraid of anything.
An icy wind ripped through the courtyard as Death approached. A thin grin spread across his gaunt face. For Death had yet to meet someone as brave and reckless as Befruchten. Equal. That was an accident. Death wasn't making that face while walking. I'm referring to the emoji I made by accident. If that wasn't clear anyway.
I didn't want anyone to be confused, you know?
Kota stands, cowered and hid in Death's presence, but they paid the human no mind. Not wow, damn it. No one was the die that day, except for perhaps the boy. Even Death was unsure what was to become of the confunding young man. He did like mating. Interesting humans. Woo!
My.
Death stood at the end of the courtyard, yards away from Befruchten, the king, and the princess. Only Befruchten wasn't scared or surprised at Death's presence.
I've been waiting for you some time, young Befruchten.
Death said, their voice so faint, but tea rattled Befruchten's ears, as if the entity was yelling right next to him.
You're the boy who defies fear.
I am.
Death's smile curled in amusement, but he remained silent in response.
Are you here to fight?
No.
You're right.
Are you here to find me?
Befruchten asked, readying his sword.
Would that frighten you?
Death asked. His voice was genuine, like they were truly concerned about Befruchten.
I don't think so. I have found so many different hoes, and faced so many hardships. A battle with you would seem no different.
Death nodded silently.
I agree. Then I will not fight you, if that's what you say. then I see no point in it, don't you? But my dear Befruchten, do you fear death?
In response, the boy looked utterly confused.
That's still the. That's
Still death.
I don't mean me, but also I do. Do you fear losing your life? To be stripped of your honor and legacy? That all that you have worked for will be forgotten after you die? That you will not see your name in the halls of kings? What do all this if it will not last? Do you fear any of that?
Death is having
That
a
is
hard time.
more than just the chill of a scare, of a moistened nurster, or fright from an enemy with a sword. Answer that I will determine with the third. You shall live or die.
Befrichten thought for a long moment, causing the surrounding population to wait with bated breath. This wasn't just a sumptuous question, but something more profound. After a long moment, he smiled.
We smiled, comrade.
We smiled, yeah.
Well, Sir Death, as I have mentioned before, I do not fear anything. I do not have the capacity to do so. So therefore, I do not fear my legacy, honor, or history being erased. This means nothing to me, as I fear nothing.
The king looked on in horror, as he was a proud man with a great legacy upon him. Death simply smiled.
Men are vain creatings. That wasn't supposed to say creatures, damn it. In the core of their beings, not to want a history at ill is very respectful.
Death and Befruchten sat for a moment, staring at each other.
It is settled then.
Death said, interpreting the silence.
I will not take anything from you this day.
Befruchten bowed low and spoke softly.
Thank you, O kind deity. Your humbleness is most appreciated.
Death returned his bow. After he stood, a small wind picked up, and Death faded into mist. Returning to the realm from whence he came, Befruchten turned to the kind, saving his kingdom from ruin.
This should show you that I'm more than worthily to marry your daughter.
The kind and surrounding area erupted into applause.
Thank you for driving off death. This is a momentous day. This could have ended in tragedy. The hand of my daughter is yours.
Befruchten turned to the beautiful princess, giving her another bow like he gave Death.
That's you.
No, I know.
Oh.
You're the princess.
No, not the princess. It's for Furkton.
Yeah,
No, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I lost my line, but I'm trying to follow you.
Will you have me, dear?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Will you have me, dear princess? I will allow you the choice, as it is your birthright.
The Prince Vess smiled and returned his bow as well.
I would be honored to marry the man who does not fear nor fear death. May our children share the same gift that you were given.
Befruchten embraced the princess with open arms, both of them beginning a large kiss. I don't know, fam. This is just what's happening.
I don't know, straight people.
The kingdom around them continuing their applause, their love blossoming into the beautiful thing they both wished for in the end. Later in the week, they held a beautiful wedding that the entire kingdom showed up to be a part of. the Fearless, with his beautiful bride and princess. Both were glowing as they said their vows and ended into a beautiful marriage together. They both would live in the caste. With the king who stepped down to give Befürchten the throne, as is his right. Befürchten stepped into the kinghood with pride, and knowing that he would be a king of much power, as his fearless title would not have him bow to lesser evils, a normal man would be susceptible to.
I don't know, man. This was happening.
However, that was not yet the happily ever after that most fairy tales end with. The prince wished to give her husband something that would help him see the world in its fullness. Though she loved him as the man with no fear, it was an experience that still needed, not because he was creepy, but because she wanted him to be complete. Some months into their marriage, the princess asked, her name was Edelschwartz.
Oh, of course.
Everybody knows it was Edelschwartz.
Dear, what do you think fear is supposed to feel like?
Befürchten thought back to what his father had told him long ago and recalled,
It's supposed to give me the shivers, as if I'm super cold. I should feel my stomach leave through my toes, and I want to get away as fast as possible. Posse B. That's what I think, at least.
The princess pondered his answer for many weeks until she had the... She pondered his answer for many weeks until she had the answer. She called for the servants to climb the tallest mountains and harvest loads of ice. The fishermen were to find the ugliest fish and take them apart. The fish and their guts were preserved for 3 days and 3 nights on the ice. And then, in the morning hours, the prince took the fish totally frozen and slipped them down her husband's shirt.
Oh.
He instantly awoke feeling cold and shivering. Then he checked what was in his shirt. Befürchten felt his stomach flee when he saw and smelled the horrible fish, and he ran for the nearest shower as fast as his life was worth. The princess couldn't stop laughing, for Befürchten finally got to feel what fear felt like. And no, it wasn't the fish, or the unfathomable, murderous depths of the ocean that he came to fear, nor did Befürchten come to fear the high mountains, the biting cold, or the prospects of yetis. He didn't fear practical jokes. It was his wife. Befürchten feared what she was capable of, and the respect born from that led to the very happy and prosperous marriage. And they did live happily after. No, only then did they live happily eve after the end.
Good wrap up, Lars.
Peaches is like, what's happening? Why are we clapping?
Yeah, Peaches.
Good job, Peaches.
Good job, Peaches! Yay! The cat off screen is like, ah! I was just
That was beautiful.
We went through 4 quests. 5 quests?
Five
quests, I think.
quests.
Yeah.
So many.
5 quests.
And Befürchten's voice changed multiple times.
I know.
I like when he said princess.
Princess. Now I want to go back through and have it read as Princess voice.
Princess.
Okay, I don't think it was you that, totally changed it. I think it was Scott bringing up, death, the actual entity of death into it. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Befürchtung had... So, let's hear. Befürchtung's many trials. The cliffs with the monsters who wanted his spleen, the gallows, the river Styx dream, the crypt, then the ghost ship, with all that entails, and then facing death itself.
Yeah.
So 5.
So far.
6.
Oh, no.
6.
Oh, 6, yeah.
6, and then on the 7th...
We can count.
Whoa.
7, a holy number.
Then on the 7th, his wife got him to feel what fear is like, even though he didn't actually fear anything other than her.
Yeah. That's what you kids don't marry.
She's a baddie.
The ball and chain, am I right, girl?
You shut the hell up.
Oh, Peaches.
Okay.
Wow.
We did it.
That was amazing. We actually did a legit fairy tale right there with 7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we totally did. That actually worked out better than I thought it would. You know, we got a little confused there at some parts, but I think we came together.
Yeah.
It was all the different names that were reintroduced
Well,
and taken out.
I love how I was like very specifically like, okay, if I keep going down this road, I'll get to the castle where the king is, and then of course
We get to a castle, but
Yeah.
it is not the castle.
yeah, then
But
it's
then
like
it turns into the castle.
I know.
because Spencer went before. I think it's before you, and then it just like. How you wouldn't know the context, so then it became this whole thing to get to another castle with a different king.
Your princess is in another castle, Mario.
Yeah. Well, and there, I cheated a little bit because I had read Lars's page,
Cheater!
but then Hannah was like, "Hey, can I actually go first because I need to leave?"
Yeah.
And so then I read her page as well. So I had gotten 2 pages back to back, and so I had a little bit of a better grasp on like what the hell was happening.
Yeah. What the hell?
And so that kind of helped push through to the end of the ghost ship at least like get the ghost ship going.
Yeah.
And then
I was actually surprised that the ghost ship worked out as well as it did. I was like, I've got no idea what's happening. I'm just introducing a ghost ship. Ah!
Yeah, I know. At that part, you could tell you were like trying to make a very explicit quest with like no context as to what came before.
I love that he just like Peter Panned
Peter Pan the ship.
and crashed it into the castle.
And then the king went, my tower!
And that this poor servant who's like who died and was brought back to life and just gets arrested.
Yeah.
Whoops, yeah, but the worst.
Dulva became Fulsa.
Alright, well, it's almost 2 a.m., so...
Yeah, we should probably go
Yeah.
now. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. And as always,
Bye, Mom.
Yay.
beautiful. Okay, what do I want to end recording first? This one? Yeah. And then this one.